afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for the dedication and unveiling ceremony of our new downtown Wadsworth clock. My name is Adrienne Krause, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of Main Street Wadsworth. We became the state of Ohio's 22nd Main Street community in 2016, and we are Wadsworth's nonprofit organization dedicated to the economic revitalization and historic preservation of downtown Wadsworth. This clock is the culmination of a 2-year catalyst project of the Main Street Wadsworth Design Committee that symbolizes the revitalization of Wadsworth's historic downtown traditional business district. I'm so excited to see so many people here today. Thank you for being here and for supporting us. We're here today most of all to celebrate community and to remember that when we work together as a team, anything is possible. Today is a joyful day, but also a difficult day for some of us here, as today would have marked Mr. Walter Gehring's 86th birthday. We are going to unveil the clock in just a few moments, but first I would like to thank everyone who made this project possible. Then I will present the clock as a gift to the City of Wadsworth. Then I will ask Mayor Laba and our clock donors to come forward and say a few words. To conclude our ceremony, our clock donors will come forward and unveil the clock. So with that, we have many people to thank today for this project, and if I call your name and you're here, please just give a wave so I can see that you're here, please. And when I call the clock donor families, if you would come up, I just have a bouquet of flowers that I would like to present to you. So the first people I would like to thank, of course, are our clock donor families. First of all, the Rod and Kathy Lovelace family. If we could have a round of applause for the Rod and Kathy Lovelace family. Next, the Jeffrey H. Novak family. The Zygmunt J. Novak III family. And the family of Walter A. Gehring. And the Gehring family members are Bob and Kathy Calhoun, Dan and Vicki Gehring, Bob and Audrey Gehring, Tom and Tracy Gehring, Dr. Joseph and Christine Keller, Rita Couch, Dan and Leslie Miller, and Walter Gehring's dear wife, Betty Gehring. Let's have another round of applause. I would also like to thank the other individuals and organizations who made this project possible. My Main Street Wadsworth Design Committee, which includes our Chair Roger Havens, Tom Stugmeyer, Dr. Alex McIlvain, Mike Berg, Todd Power, Dan Hostetler, Sarah Makowitz, David Brewster, and our clock project leader, Jeff Novak. And no one has put more time into this project than Jeff Novak. Let's give him a hand. I would also like to thank the Main Street Wadsworth Board of Directors who are here today, the City of Wadsworth, which has been so supportive of our efforts, Mayor Robin Laba, our Director of Public Service, Robert Patrick, who also put so many hours into this project. Thank you so much, Robert. And this was a team effort, so I want to thank the City of Wadsworth's engineering department, the electrical department, the parks department, and the streets department, as well as AK Construction, Dan Rosbert, Pam Douglas, Sherry Lovelace, and Carol McIlvain for the beautiful flowers you see here today, and of course the Verdon Clock Company of Cincinnati, Ohio. So with that, on behalf of my board and the design committee, it is my pleasure to officially present this clock as a gift to the City of Wadsworth. I'm going to present the clock controller to Mayor Laba, who will have the honor of playing the clock's first song, God Bless America.
it's almost not fair for me to speak after that. That was, especially as I'm looking at everybody's faces. Wow, is this a wonderful, wonderful opportunity, a wonderful, exciting time for Wadsworth. We are absolutely thrilled to have this beautiful new Verdun clock to be a new focal piece for our community. And I have got to say, on behalf of the City of Wadsworth, thank you to all of you who have been so instrumental in bringing this to this point. It certainly has been a labor of love, and it started about 2 years ago in the design committee of Main Street Wadsworth. And if anybody had ever had a question as far as what does Main Street do if it just puts on events, this is a prime example. No, they are not just an event-driven organization. They are an organization that does a multitude of things, such as beautify our downtown. And we had a wonderful collaboration with the Main Street organization, with the city, to be able to do this, along with so many others. We had mentioned the design committee, and it was chaired, the project was chaired by Jeff Novak, and he put in tireless hours into making this a reality. I know that Rod Lovelace was also hanging in there as well as their entire committee. Grateful for their leadership, but also for their leadership in working with the city, because there was a little bit of some logistics to be able to get to this point, and so grateful for their willingness to do that. Adrian had neglected to mention somebody on that list of thank yous, and that was her. Adrian has done a tremendous job. She was the glue because there needs to be a liaison between City Hall and the Main Street organization, and she provided that leadership and worked countless hours, particularly with Robert Patrick. And speaking of Robert Patrick, I need to, on behalf of the city, thank him, because he goes above and beyond his normal course of duties to make sure that things run smoothly, and he takes it very seriously. And this project got done because a lot of people kicked it in gear, and so thank you very much for your leadership with that. I mentioned the collaboration with the city departments. We had a lot of hands on this project. You might have seen some busy bees over the last little bit, but particularly over the last several days. Our engineering department, they were responsible, first of all, figuring out where would it best be located, and so they determined that this was a good spot for it. They also oversaw the contractor work. You mentioned AK Construction, who was the contractor, so appreciative to them. Our streets department, they cut the old cement out, hauled it out, and prepared for the foundation work, which was wonderful. Our electric department, how fortunate we are to have our own electric department, because they brought the electric to this point, and they also installed the beautiful clock. Our parks department, they came in at the end and certainly prepared and filled with soil and the mulch and so forth, brought the stone in. And certainly, as was mentioned before, many other hands that brought this project to fruition. I did want to spend just a few moments, if I could, on the donors. It has been mentioned about the Rod Lovelace family. Thank you so very much. The Novak families, we mentioned the one, but we also have the Zig Novak family. Thank you so very much. They came on early on, and they saw the vision, and they were in on the early planning stages, and they were so committed to this that they wanted to donate to the cause as well. And so that speaks so highly of them and their family and their commitment to this community. And so on behalf of the city, I want to say thank you so very much for that. But I also wanted to spend a little bit of time on the Gehring family. And I hope I can get through this. It's not fair, but at the same time, I just can't not say something. So, I was thinking about this, and if anybody in this community ever deserved the title of Mr. Wadsworth, it would have been Walt Gehring. And I see a lot of people shaking their heads because they knew the commitment of Walt. Walt loved Wadsworth. He was a grizzly through and through, and he served the community well. He was a businessman, he was an entrepreneur, and so he spent his livelihood here, but also he spent his life and his volunteer efforts here. And of course his family is here, and so many of them are here today. And so as I said, he definitely earned the title of Mr. Wadsworth. When I was a child growing up, I heard my parents say the name Walt Gehring, Walt Gehring, Walt Gehring. I didn't know who Walt Gearing was. I was just a child, but I knew he was important because how many times his name was said, and in the tone of voice or in the context that it was, they talked very favorably of him. Well, I grew up and I found out he was a really special man, and so how wonderful to be able to drive by and be able to see a beautiful permanent feature that not only he donated towards, but also so many other kind families that put so much time and effort and money towards. We are very, very fortunate. I miss my good buddy Walt, but I will think of him kindly when I drive past. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'm going to invite our clock donors forward to say a few words. We will call up the Loveless family, followed by the Novak families, and then finally the Gearing family. And then the donors will come together to unveil the clock. Thank you.
Rod and I were just so pleased to be able to contribute to the downtown area. And like the hands of the clock join in the center, we hope that the downtown area will be a center of support and growth for our whole community.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of our family. This is a cool day. This is very neat. I apologize, drawing a little blank here, just looking at all these people out here to celebrate this amazing thing. It's been a long road. We're glad to be part of this, and it means a lot to us to be here today. And through the journey over the last couple years, I'm so glad to be standing here, and just want to take a second and say that we know that Walt is here with us today celebrating, and want to thank the Gearing family for being part of this, the Loveless family for being part of this, and to everyone here, hope that you will enjoy the clock as much as we all will. So thank you.
Some of my remarks, I think, will be a little bit of a repeat, but for those of you who did not know our father, he was a remarkable man. We are very pleased to be able to join with Main Street Wadsworth and the other supporters to see this magnificent clock beautify our town center. Today's a special day for Main Street Wadsworth to be able to provide this gift to the city. But as already mentioned, today's also a special day for our family. 86 years ago today, Walter Gearing was born just a few blocks from here at Wadsworth Municipal Hospital. Dad grew up here, was educated here, he worshiped here, he was married here, he worked in the family business here, raised a family here, together with a group of entrepreneurs started his own business. Sadly, he died here and is buried here. But Dad believed that you received by giving, and as such he was an active member of numerous organizations, too many to count, and he served a number of years in city government. He was very passionate about economic development and believed that there needed to be a delicate balance between commercial and residential growth, something I'm sure the mayor knows way too well. But Dad's love for this community is what led us to support this project in his memory. For us, the clock represents a celebration of his life and his love for this community, a step towards the future progress of our downtown area. Dad also liked clocks, and we do have several that Mom has in the house. And when the idea of the clock came up, it just felt like a very natural fit, and he would want to have supported this project. So we're very pleased to be able to join with you and have this opportunity.
Thank you all so much, and thank you to everyone who is here today for the ceremony. I'm going to ask our clock donors to come forward and unveil the clock together.